dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, let's get original crew. We back. More Mr. Ballen. This was a requested one. We got top 3 videos with disturbing backstories part 1. We've done some of these before. We haven't done one in a while, but y'all asked for it, so hey, we're here to deliver. Let's always ask y'all at the end to spam us up what y'all might want to see us react to next. And if it's stuff we already react to, why not go ahead and fulfill your request?
Thanks.
So we got you like that, man. So with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go, man. You want the first part, all you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video,
like it in with a thumbs up.
Sorry, y'all. We stumbling, man. It's
late.
It's 2 a.m.
I'm sorry, y'all. But like it in with a thumbs up.
It's 2 a.m. We got to get this to y'all Sunday. So, actually, this is Saturday morning. So,
yeah, technically.
Hey, we working for y'all.
Saturday morning.
We working for y'all to make sure we get y'all stuff on time for you. So, with that being said, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check this one out. Let's see what's about. You ready, C?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Today I'm going to share with you 3 progressively more disturbing stories, and at the end of each of them I'm going to share with you the video that is famously associated with them. But before I get into today's stories, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right channel, because that's all I do, and I upload 3, 4, even 5 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please give the like button a wedgie, and then also subscribe to this channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of my weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. In July of 2016, a woman living in Chicago, Illinois named Jordan Baranskis opened her eyes and realized she had fallen asleep on the couch the night before. She looked up and the TV was still on, and then she looked down at the other section of the couch and her boyfriend Matt was also asleep on the couch. As much as she wanted to keep sleeping alongside her boyfriend, she had work that day, so she stood up, turned the TV off, and made her way upstairs to get ready. As soon as she got upstairs, the first thing she did is go into her bedroom and get her purse that she left on the foot of her bed. But when she got in the room, her purse wasn't there. So she leaves her bedroom and she starts searching all the rooms upstairs, and she can't find her purse. And she's thinking to herself, I'm certain I had it the night before. I remember rifling through my purse before going downstairs and starting to fold laundry before ultimately falling asleep on the couch. So after spending about 15 minutes looking for the purse unsuccessfully, and now she's starting to stress because she's going to be late for work because she can't find her purse, she goes downstairs and she wakes Matt up and says, hey, I gotta find my purse. I thought I left it upstairs. Apparently I didn't. Can you help me look for it? Matt rolls over. He doesn't really want to get up because he's pretty tired and he doesn't have work, so he doesn't want to wake up right now. And he says, well, are you sure you didn't leave it at the restaurant last night? I mean, if you already looked, it's probably not here. You want to just give him a call and see if you left it there? Jordan was immediately really annoyed by his reaction because she just wanted him to stand up and help her look for the purse because she had work and he could just go back to sleep. And so it started this argument between the two of them where Matt just wanted her to call the restaurant because he was convinced she had it there. And Jordan was like, no, I know I had my purse. I'm positive I had it last night before I fell asleep on the couch with you. So their argument begins to escalate a little bit, and that's when Jordan remembers that they had recently installed a Nest camera downstairs to monitor their dogs whenever they were gone. And she thought, we can just look at the footage on the Nest camera, we can see me walking into the apartment, and I will either have or not have my purse in my hand. And so Jordan opens up her app and she calls Matt over and they go back to the night before, right before they left for the restaurant. She's got her purse in hand, they leave the front door, and then several hours go by and they come back in and very clearly Jordan has her purse in her hand. And Jordan turns to Matt and says, told you so. And Matt's like, okay, fine, let me help you look. And as they're about to put the app down, she realizes on the Nest camera timeline that motion was detected at 3:30 in the morning when they were both clearly asleep on the couch. And so she calls Matt back over and says, here, look, there's motion detected at 3:30 in the morning. And they hit play. After the couple had fallen asleep on the couch with the TV on, a hooded figure emerges from their upstairs hallway and stands at the top of the stairs and just watches the two of them sleep. Before he left, he stole her purse along with a couple of other things from their apartment. And somehow, this guy has never been caught, and he's been given the nickname Creeper Ghost.
Wow.
Hell fucking no, bro. You know what? He probably went in while they were gone. Right?
Mm-hmm.
While they were gone to dinner.
Yeah.
And when they got back, he hid out. And when he heard it was quiet and still, he like watched them up there to make sure that they don't get up.
Mm-hmm. And then he creeped on out.
So he was able to exit out. That is crazy,
That's
bro. And ain't no telling.
That's scary.
Ain't no telling what, like, because they passed out on the couch.
Yeah.
So they could have been, you know what I'm saying, a little tipsy, had a couple drinks,
Or just
then
flat
notice certain things.
Yeah, or just flat out tired and sleep heavy. Because some people sleep heavy, and especially if you.
No, I'm just saying for them to come in, watch some TV, and crash on the couch, you know.
Bought a few clothes and then crash.
Yeah, so it probably was already. Yeah, it could have been late, tired,
Just
you know what I'm
tired,
saying?
yeah, super tired.
And then just crashed on the couch to the point where y'all didn't go upstairs. What if y'all had went upstairs, you know?
Well, she did go upstairs. She went upstairs. That's where her purse was. Because she went upstairs. She was in her purse.
So what
rambling in her purse. And then she got the clothes, took them back down so she can fold the clothes.
So what the
So he must have probably been hiding under the bed or in a closet or in another room.
Well, one thing we know for a fact from him, he ain't no killer.
I mean, yeah, not that night anyway.
Yeah, not that night. Shit. Damn, that's crazy.
Edna Centrone was born on October 10th, 1954 in Puerto Rico, and she was brought to New York by her mother when she was about 5 years old. Edna's family had no money. Her mother, who supported her, was a clerical worker at the New York City Board of Education, where she would bring 2 boiled eggs to work every day so that she wouldn't have to pay for lunch. Edna's family lived in Lower Manhattan on Delancey Street, a neighborhood that was famous for waves of ethnic immigration. Edna had a tough childhood, but she would say she was loved and had enough. In 1987, Edna would meet her future husband, William. William had been visiting his brother at his brother's girlfriend's house in Upper Manhattan. When William walked into the kitchen, Edna was sitting there. And he was so struck with her beauty, he immediately left the room, found his brother, and said, "Who is that woman sitting in the kitchen?" And his brother would tell him that that was Edna. William went right back into the kitchen, and the two of them hit it off right away, and almost immediately they were dating. Every morning, William would leave his Brooklyn apartment and drive all the way to the north end of Manhattan. He would pick up Edna and then drive her to Midtown where she worked. And then he would fight traffic to go to his job. So it was just this horrible, horrible morning commute. But he loved Edna so much, he had no problem in the world doing it. Any chance he got.
You remember our old morning commute together? And it was like literally, it used to be dreadful. But, you know, like, you sacrificed it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we stayed in, like, going in, I would fix my schedule to try to match your schedule.
Yeah.
Like, even with my job, because, like, I was such a accelerated performer where I made my own schedule, but I was like, damn, I can make my schedule however I wanted to. I just had to equal up to 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I was just always trying to make it bounce off of how your work schedule was, even though like I was like, damn, I set the perfect hours for myself, but it ain't what you want. So like I would sacrifice and try to do certain things. Then we would get in traffic. I'll have to take you to work an hour, and then an hour earlier, then I have to go in, and then I'll have to sit at the job and chill and wait and then I will still get off earlier before you and come pick you up. I used to be like, Lord Jesus, but you know,
it worked out.
Made things work, man. Like that commute was crazy.
It was no joke though.
But he loved Edna so much, he had no problem in the world doing it. Any chance he got to be around Edna, he was happy. A couple of months after they met, Edna would move in with William in his apartment in Brooklyn, and then 2 years later, they would get married. They discovered that Edna was not able to have kids of her own, and so they talked about adopting, and they were really excited about it, but they kept pushing it off for financial reasons. Like a lot of other couples in their neighborhood, they both had to work multiple jobs in order to make ends meet. Edna worked Monday through Friday as an administrative assistant for Marsh & McLennan, which was a large insurance broker located in the World Trade Center. William was a doorman in an apartment building on the swanky Upper East Side. Monday through Friday, after he was done working as a doorman at about 3 p.m., he would go to Harlem, where he and Edna owned a small flower shop, and he would work there until 8 p.m. at night. And then over the weekends, he and Edna would work at the flower shop. For fun, they liked to drive north to Bear Mountain State Park, where they would meet up with friends and relatives for barbecues and cookouts. And anytime they had a little bit of extra money, they loved going to Atlantic City and spending a little bit of cash on the slots and then taking advantage of the free food that came with gambling. But more than anything else, William and Edna got the most enjoyment out of each other. They were madly in love and inseparable for all 14 years they were together. That even on their worst days, when they came home and things just weren't right, they would always sit down together and they would eat their favorite ice cream and watch their favorite TV show together. On September 11th, 2001, William dropped Edna off at the World Trade Center where she worked. She made her way up to the 93rd floor of the North Tower where Marsh & McLennan was. She took her seat at her desk and began the day like any other day. At 8:46 a.m. that morning, a plane that had been hijacked by Al-Qaeda terrorists intentionally flew into the North Tower, crashing into floors 93 through 99. Everyone on board the plane and hundreds of people inside the towers where it was struck were killed instantly. Edna survived the initial crash, but she, like everybody else who was at floor 92 and up inside the North Tower on 9/11, were all trapped. Shortly after the crash, a cameraman on the ground was filming the impact site on the side of the World Trade Center, and they inadvertently captured Edna Centrone coming to the edge, clutching onto a metal girder, and she appears to be waving as if she's hoping someone is going to come up here and save her. But of course, there was no way to get to her, and she, like so many others that were trapped inside of the Twin Towers, had to make the terrible choice of waiting for the fire to consume me or jumping out this window. We don't know what her final choice was. However, we do know she was one of the 2,976 people who lost their life during that terrorist attack.
Every time I see stuff about
It's because so many people.
it, like always like just.
Because you got to also think about when it comes down to 9/11. It's not even just the people who were on the plane that had a tragic demise. It was also so many people who got trapped. So you know what I'm saying? It's like I'm saying, like that's how like tragic it is. It's the people on the planes, all the planes that were hijacked, but also the places they collided to. It killed all those people, and like then the people who didn't die instantly, you know what I'm saying, had to suffer and make the decision. Well, should I jump?
Should I just stay in?
And you think, God, 93 in the air. 93 floors in the air. There's no way in hell you can make that. People even, like, some people said, I heard somebody said, did we watch something or something?
Yeah, we watched
somebody
it.
said, yeah, they were dropped over 5.
Yeah, it was super detailed.
Yeah, 5 feet. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about somebody said they survived falling off a 5-story building. I'm like, okay, that's very rare. You know what I'm saying? So that's 5 stories, but you talking about 93. And I do know Ballen does have the video about what happened on 9/11, but unfortunately we cannot react to it because it does have a lot of restrictions behind it, and we just did we watch some of it? Did we watch the whole thing?
Is that what we had watched?
And you broke down crying the whole time?
I was That was
Yeah,
that was Ballen video. Oh, okay.
And he
Every
was
time I
detailed.
hear
Yeah,
yes,
he detailed his.
that was
yeah,
him. Yeah, I was like,
yeah.
whatever it was detailed, and I was just in shambles, child. But yeah,
And the fact that like her husband,
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
that's tragic, bro.
Mm-hmm.
All those families, man.
On September 22nd, 2006, 16-year-old Cassie Jo Stoddart was house-sitting for her aunt and uncle. Cassie was very responsible, and so her aunt and uncle didn't just trust her to house-sit, they also regularly asked her to babysit their son. During this particular house-sitting weekend, Casey had invited her boyfriend, Matt Beckham, over to the residence to watch a movie with her. She had also invited two other friends named Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk, who were classmates of her and Matt's. And so while the four teens are watching this movie, Brian and Tori kind of awkwardly stand up and announce to the other two that they don't want to watch a movie on the TV, they want to go watch a movie in the movie theater, and they promptly leave. Cassie and Matt thought it was a little bit odd that they would come over here specifically to watch a movie with them, only to say, we don't want to watch a movie with you guys, we want to watch it in the theater, but they didn't think much of it and they stayed to finish the movie. Unbeknownst to Cassie and Matt, when Brian and Tori left, they actually looped around to the back of the residence and unlocked the basement door so they could quietly re-enter later. Because these boys had been planning to do something absolutely horrible to Cassie, and they planned on doing it that night. Brian and Tori idolized serial killers. When Brian and Tori happened to watch the movie Scream together, which is a popular horror movie where this masked villain sneaks into teenagers' homes and terrorizes them, they decided that that would be the way they gained infamy. They would reenact the murder scenes from the movie Scream, but in real life. Shortly after this revelation, they begin filming themselves as they come up with their big plan of how they're going to break into someone's home and what they're going to do to them. And at some point on camera, they would say that they've identified their first victim, and it's going to be Cassie Jo Stoddart. They just needed to wait for a time when she was going to be alone. And when they found out she was going to be house sitting over that weekend in September for her aunt and uncle, they put their plan into motion. But when they showed up and Matt Beckham was there, Cassie's boyfriend, it kind of screwed up their plan. And so that's why Brian and Tori had stood up and said they were going to go watch a movie at the movie theater, because what they really wanted to do was come back later when Matt wasn't there anymore so they could attack Cassie. So Brian and Tori leave, and they do go to the movie theater, and they do buy tickets because they figure this is a great opportunity to create a solid alibi for themselves. But they don't stick around for the movie. They get back in their car, and they drive around and film themselves excitedly talking about how great it's going to be when Cassie's all alone and they can attack her. After a couple of hours of driving around, they can't wait any longer, and they figure that Matt must be gone by now. They park at the end of the street, they get out, they put on their masks and their gloves, and they sneak around to the side of the house where there was that open door that Brian had left. They open it up and they go inside of the residence where Cassie was, and they can hear upstairs that Matt is still there. Brian and Tori at this point felt so committed that they just said, you know what, we're gonna have to kill Matt too. So straight out of a horror movie, Brian and Tori hide in the basement wearing their mask and their gloves, they've got their knives, and they start making all this noise to try to get Cassie and Matt to come downstairs to see what's making all the sound. But it doesn't work. They don't come downstairs. So the next thing they do is they go to the circuit breakers and they cut the power to the house, hoping that Matt and Cassie will come downstairs to try to turn it back on. But again, Matt and Cassie stay upstairs. And so Brian and Tori turn the power back on and just continue to make sounds in the basement in hopes that Matt or Cassie, or hopefully both, would come downstairs so they could live out this fantasy. Meanwhile, upstairs, Matt and Cassie hadn't heard any of the sounds going on in the basement, but when the power went out, Cassie got really frightened and she asked Matt would he please stay with her overnight, and so Matt calls his mom and asks if that would be okay, and she says no, but you can invite Cassie over to our house and she can stay with us, and then tomorrow morning I'd be happy to drive her back to her aunt and uncle's house. But at the time the offer was made, the lights had come back on and Cassie had kind of calmed down and said, you know what, Matt, I'm actually just fine. I'm going to stay here. At approximately 10:30 p.m. that night, Brian and Tori could hear,
just go. Ah, damn. Fuck. What the fuck be wrong with some of these motherfuckers?
What you say? I'm just
like,
thinking,
what the fuck is wrong with y'all, bro? Like, you know, y'all some. Hey, it be some of the most pussy ass folks who do this shit.
Like, y'all just sitting planning.
And y'all be like, people bother us. No, you're just a
praying. Like, got our first victim. The fuck?
I'm going to stay here. At approximately 10:30 p.m. that night, Brian and Tori could hear Matt's mom showing up, picking him up, and taking him home. And they were fairly certain that Cassie was alone, but they were going to wait for a couple minutes to make sure she really was. As they were waiting, Matt actually called Tori and said, "Hey, I just left Cassie's house. Can I come meet up with you guys?" And Matt would later tell police that he couldn't really understand what Tori was saying. It was like he was whispering. And so Matt assumed that he must still be in the movie theater watching the movie. And Matt kind of gave up on the idea of meeting up with them and ultimately just hung up. And so after Tori got off the phone with Matt, he turned to Brian and said, "She's alone. Matt just said so." Brian and Tori turned the power off once again and then walked up the stairs and slammed a closet door in hopes that it would entice her to come into the basement. But it didn't work because Cassie was horrified. She heard the slamming door, the lights are out, and she's all alone, and so she's huddled up on the couch, terrified. So Brian and Tori, frustrated they can't live out their fantasy exactly the way they wanted to by attacking her in the basement, so they go upstairs, walk into the living room where Cassie is huddled on the couch, fearing for her life, and they proceed to stab their friend to death. After the murder, Brian and Tori ran from the house, got in their car, and the first thing they did is they fired up their video camera and they filmed their excited reaction to ending Cassie's life. Brian and Tori believed they had a solid alibi because they had those movie tickets, but after Cassie's body was discovered just a couple of days later, the police immediately went to Matt Beckham, her boyfriend, and started questioning him, and he immediately said, "Well, Brian and Tori were the only other two people that were with us that night." The police go to Brian and Tori, and under intense questioning, Brian and Tori would confess to what they had done. They were convicted and given life sentences without the opportunity for parole. Here is some of the video footage that was found on their camera.
We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? We know there's lots of doors. There's lots of places to hide. I locked the back doors, so it's all locked. Now we just gotta wait. I just killed Cassie. We just left her house. I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie.
So that's going to do it, guys. Let me know in the comments what you thought of today's videos, and I will pin the best comment at the
Kind of pissed off with this.
Yeah, that really.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't no person to be wanting, you know what I'm saying, wish harm on nobody. I really hope y'all in there getting y'all ass beat. Things done to y'all never thought would be able to be done to y'all. I hope nobody's in there protecting you. I hope, you know. I hate to be that person though. You know?
Yeah, I definitely don't wish like harm on anybody.
But I do
But
wish.
at the same time, I be like,
somebody needs to. Maybe one of them a bitch in there though. I ain't gonna hold you.
You know, I'm
one
like,
of y'all got a man in there punking y'all around, and
I really have no words because I'm. And did you hear the excitement? He was so happy.
This one irritates me to the point where, like, you know.
Unfortunately, she's our friend. You know, sometimes you have to make sacrifices. What?
Let's see. I want to just know. I'm that type of person. Hold on. Brian and Tori. Let me see if we got any images. Man, that look like some pussies. That just look like some pussies, dog. Yeah.
That's so sad.
I ain't gonna hold you. He look like a little bitch. The Brian dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I have so much.
I got
so many
anger
things.
behind this one.
I have so many things like going through my head, but
And they both look a little.
anyway, that's rest in peace.
Ain't no
Most
rest
definitely.
behind that, man.
It's not, but
when you really don't have a reason why you like gone.
of course, but
Like-
still, I still show my respect because she
Yeah,
definitely did
yeah.
not deserve
No,
that
no,
at all.
I'm just
no one
saying,
deserves to.
But I'm just saying, like, you know how people be like, rest in peace, and I'm like, yes,
Because it's
condolences, but it's like, is that person really able to rest?
Okay, well, if you don't like that, then yeah, okay.
I'm just saying,
I
I get what you're doing.
I mean, that's just.
But the same way y'all want to torture her, man, eye for an eye. At the end of the day,
But yeah,
I don't wish death on you, but the torture part, yeah, you did it to yourself. And then y'all thought y'all were gonna get away with it. Tried to have a movie ticket to alibi, but y'all got all this video evidence. How dumb can you be? Like you gotta be one of the slowest. I'm trying to be respectful at the same time for the whole thing, but it's like what the fuck is wrong with people, bro? What the fuck is really wrong with y'all, man?
Facts, yeah.
Hey, y'all spam us up. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. I'm trying to choose my words carefully, so I'm gonna just exit off of this one, you know. But as always, I do go by the name DJ the Kid. This is we are. Yeah,
Go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money low, get my team strong. Get me run